the author of the next book that we're reading, what's her name? Sienna Trapp.
Oh, yeah.
Is that her name? She, on her website, had some Christmas book. I don't know if it's...
I really hated Bagging the Blue Liner, though, so...
Oh, shoot.
I liked it to start. We'll get there. I did, though, read... Emma had recommended some darker hockey ones.
Mm-hmm.
So I read 2 of them.
And?
I did like the first one. It is dark, like Haunting Adeline type dark.
Okay.
Not as good.
Oh.
Not as good. The first one was good, though. I did like it.
Okay.
There's mouth spitting and...
Oh my God, so I would like it.
You would probably like it.
Why would you like it if there's mouth spitting? I thought we agreed that the mouth spitting
I just skipped that part and pretend it didn't happen.
Oh,
but the girl really enjoyed it.
Okay.
It was Hockey Gods. It's from the Hockey Gods series.
Mm-hmm.
Obsession.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, do you have any experiences that you'd like to discuss before we jump into the book?
The only story I could think of was from right after we did our last podcast, your Josh Hartnett story.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
You haven't earned...
I know. But that's the only one when we tried to tell.
Hear back. The Josh Hartnett story is not even the most interesting part about that story.
I know.
Josh Hartnett was the opener so that I could also brag about waiting on Charlize Theron, which was the actual interesting part.
Which I want to hear about.
And the thing is now I've hyped it up so much, it's not even a good story anymore. And I don't ever want to share it with anybody ever again.
I'll never hear it.
It's
so disappointing.
Gonna die with me. All right. Well, I'm Amanda.
I'm Nicole.
And we are Book Sluts. Welcome back. Thank you for your patience last week.
I was sick.
Nicole was sick. America
is sick.
I was sickened by America and didn't feel like it was appropriate for us to post. So
it's more fun when we're like chipper.
Yeah.
And we were not chipper on Wednesday.
No.
Or last week. So
I was telling everybody at work today that Sunday I doom scrolled on TikTok all day in my bedroom, in my bed, while my husband stood next to the bed and gently patted my shoulders, comforting me because he didn't know what to do.
Sad.
So it was therapeutic.
Yeah.
And now I'm feeling ready to
dive into Pucking Around.
Here we go.
We are reading Pucking Around by Emily Rath.
I think it's Rath.
Okay. Emily Rath.
It could be Emily Rath.
It definitely could be. But Rath, I feel like would be spelled with a W.
Yeah, I know.
It's Rath.
Author names are, especially in this genre, are so interesting to me.
Yeah.
I know what you're going for, but it's just like, I almost just wish that people would use their real names. Maybe this is her real name.
If I wrote a book, I'd have a pet name. It wouldn't be, because I like my last name now.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be.
Your last name is the most writer last name that has ever existed.
I know.
It's
so I do something cute like Nikki Hitchcock or something.
Sure.
But I would not be doing Nicole Hitchcock. I would do something.
See, and my favorite thing to do on the internet is the combination of my first name and my middle name.
Oh.
Because my middle name is Marie. So I'll like on the internet, like my pseudonym will always be like Amarie.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So my pet name would probably be something.
Yeah, a little more creative than mine.
Yeah. But like I'm gonna start calling you Nikki. Everybody else does.
No, I don't.
No, you're right.
Wisconsin.
Yeah. Fuck Wisconsin. All right.
Hey, let's get into it.
First of all, this book starts with an author's note. It says that the story starts with a spicy prequel novella called That One Night. While you can definitely read this book without reading the prequel, you'll be missing a bit of character development between Rachel and Jake. And if you're not going to read the prequel, or if you just need a refresher, here's what happened. 2 months ago, Rachel was in Seattle for her brother's wedding. She meets Jake Compton in the bar of her hotel, and they have an instant connection. They share one passionate night, have tons of great sex. Jake begs for her name and wants her to stay longer. And in the morning, Rachel leaves without waking Jake. And the story starts 2 months after that one night.
I did not read that author's note or the prequel. I just jumped right in. So
I did read the prequel.
That would have given me more context to what was happening.
Oh, was the missing context frustrating for you?
No,
Okay.
no,
Well, she has a page of tropes, tags, content warnings, and star signs.
I love that. Are any of
Um,
them Aries?
yes.
Who?
I can't tell you.
Oh, I
When
didn't read them.
when we get to him,
Okay.
we'll talk about it. Content warnings. The book contains some themes that may be distressing to readers, including one family's history of receiving harassment, vicious bullying linked to homophobia, and a brief discussion of a family member's attempt to unalive themselves. More than one main character has a history of substance abuse. One went to rehab for treatment, discussed not shown. A main character also has a history with disordered eating, briefly discussed as part of their past. This book contains detailed 2, 3, and 4-person sex scenes that include elements of impact play, choking, voyeurism, bondage, double penetration, double vaginal penetration, toy use, degradation, dom sub, spit play, snowballing, and breeding kink. And those are the kinds of trigger warnings I'm looking for in my
See,
life.
and I was kind of like, meh.
I know.
I need something dark.
Oh my
Maybe a
God.
little darker than that.
You went from being the
I've
most vanilla
desensitized myself.
you have. Good
I
God.
still have super vanilla sex with Dave, though.
Well, that's fine.
So I just like
I
to read
uh,
the other stuff.
no, that's totally fine.
Yeah.
We're not shaming
No.
here. Our story centers on Rachel Price, a physical therapist who has been chosen for the opportunity to do a fellowship with a new NHL team called the Rays out of Jacksonville, Florida. At the time that our story kicks off, she is living with her best friend, Tess, in Cincinnati, working under a European doctor named Dr. Hala. Her dad is a famous rock star. She's originally from California. Directly before the story starts, Rachel met a man and experienced love at first sight, but had to end it abruptly and is still reeling from that ending. She gets the fellowship after the original candidate has an accident and is unable to perform the job duties. And although she's excited, she's a week behind and has to quit her job, pack, and move to Florida within a day or two, basically. Do you want to give her a physical description of Rachel?
I don't really have much except she has great ass and tits. She's a doctor. She has her septum pierced and she has tattoos.
I think she has dark hair.
I wonder if I missed some description in the novella because also for Jake, I have no description. I have great descriptions for the rest.
Sure.
But I wonder if
Maybe.
maybe.
She describes herself as a born and bred rock and roller who's battled addiction, depression, and body dysmorphia.
I
Really,
thought
really,
I was going to really like her. When this book started, I was like, yes.
I really like her a lot. I like her through the whole book.
I don't.
So I know you don't.
I know.
And it's really annoying to me because she reminds me a lot of me. So the fact that you don't like her is so fucking rude.
I feel like
Ma'am,
in Bagging the Blue Liner, I am more like that main character. And I feel like you're going to have a lot of criticism for that one.
you are so right. I hate that.
I know. And I
Oh
feel
my
like that's kind of me.
Wow.
So somehow we make it work.
Okay. Well, opposites attract. So Rachel manages to make it to Florida, where she is being picked up from the airport by the equipment manager of the Rays, Caleb, a surfer with a cute dog named Cy and a Jeep. Initially, in addition to being equipment manager, he also seems to be helping with some of the coaching. Caleb comes from Minnesota. He played in the NHL for 7 minutes and 30 seconds when he experienced a career ending injury to his knee. And the two of them don't exactly hit it off right away.
I did like this. Their meet cute was really cute.
Yeah.
I did really like it.
Mhm.
But Caleb also is not my type. They described him as tall, tattoos, and copper hair
Mhm.
with dark eyes. I like
Mhm.
dark eyes, but you've lost me at copper hair. I'm
Yeah.
no longer interested.
See, and I think that his personality is what attracts me to him
Mm,
because
my
I
thoughts on his personality
oh
too.
my God. Says the woman who was in love with Vane.
I know.
You're so hard to
I
please.
really am.
Oh my
I really
God.
am.
Rachel's bags are lost at the airport, and she's over an hour late to meet Caleb at the gate. And the one bag that she does have tears open, and her giant purple dildo falls out and is recovered by Caleb. Rachel, I would say, is attracted to him immediately.
Yes.
And
Same for him.
he immediately starts calling her Hurricane.
He thinks she's very pretty and is attracted to her, but chaos.
Yeah.
Completely chaotic.
Which he seems to like
Yeah.
right away.
He needs that, I think. He's a little, I don't know. He needs that, I guess.
Ew, I hate that you hate him. We're already fighting.
We really are.
Good. But the thing is that he calls her Hurricane.
Yeah.
And we talked in the last book about, or maybe a couple books before, about how I hate when they pick things like Little Mouse and Little
Yeah.
Sparrow. And I love that he specifically calls her a hurricane.
I do think that's cute.
Yeah.
That
But
was a chaotic meeting. But she'd been up, like she said, for like 48 hours, traveling, packing her entire life up, relocating. I think anybody, and that would be.
She is handling all of this with more grace than I would have.
Oh my God, same.
Yeah.
Because he's been waiting for 45 minutes, if he would have given me attitude after that, I would have sliced his head off with a knife.
Especially when you lose your bags.
I would have been so overwhelmed and then physically attacked him, I think. Could not have.
But the dog.
I know, I was just going to say the cute dog does make up for it.
The housing that's been arranged for her has her living in an apartment directly next to Caleb. And that night, she accidentally locks herself on her balcony and has Caleb help her jump from her balcony to his.
Absolutely not. I would have slept on my balcony. Absolutely not. They're high up.
Yeah.
And she just yeets herself over. Like,
But he's a big, strong hockey man. I imagine that their balconies are very close together.
That's kind of what I was thinking, because I feel like they can like touch each other. Still, absolutely not. Call the police.
Sure.
Fire truck.
I mean,
that could have been a good story.
I guess so. But
Throw
then
fireman in there.
But then she gets to jump into the waiting arms of this big, handsome man.
Wearing just a t-shirt, right?
Wearing just a t-shirt and a thong.
Yeah.
Which is not at all on her mind when she makes
No.
But
it's on his.
It's on mine. So she ends up staying overnight at his house until the next day when the office can let her back into her unit. And then they head to their first day together, and we get a glimpse into the dynamic between Rachel and Caleb. It's very flirty right away. And I felt the sexual tension from them immediately. She is a hurricane. He is very stoic, and she really pushes him outside of his comfort zone, which is something I feel like I relate to a lot.
Sure.
Because I do that a lot, where I get grumpy people who don't want to make friends with anybody, and then I force them to be my friend.
Oh, yeah.
And that is kind of like what this
Actually, I do kind of see how you are like Rachel in this aspect. Yeah, you would not have been, you'd have been his friend right away.
Yeah, I would have been like, oh, you're grouchy, but you drink peppermint mochas.
That was pretty adorable.
Yeah.
I do love that about him.
Yeah. Caleb got his position with the Rays thanks to his best friend, Jake Compton, who is a defenseman for the team and a highly sought after hockey player. The team refers to them as DLPs, domestic life partners, because of how close of friends they are. And reading this book a second time, I was already turned on by this point in the book.
Really?
I was, because I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And I was so excited.
I know it was coming too, and it's not, I could never do more than one. So they lost me. I was lost here already.
I feel so sad for you.
Until we meet some other players. Then that was brought right back in.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Well, Jake and Caleb have a really unique dynamic because they really lean into like the joke of them being domestic life partners. So Rachel is a Cancer. She's a double Cancer.
Okay.
She says it multiple times.
Okay.
Jake is a Taurus, which as a Pisces, I love that. Taurus. And Caleb is a Sagittarius.
Okay. I do like Sagittarius.
Yeah. That afternoon, while Rachel is heading down to the parking garage, Caleb's friend and the Rays defenseman, Jake, is walking in. So she's walking out and he's walking in. And we discover that this is the mystery man from Rachel's encounter prior to coming to Florida. And I like this part because he doesn't initially put together that it's her, and she's freaking
Just
out about that.
fuming.
Yeah,
I would do that too.
yeah.
Oh my god.
I don't think that
He's not expecting it. He's in
no.
Florida. They were in Seattle.
Mhm. But she is like, "Oh my god, he doesn't feel the same way. I've
Yeah.
been, like, reeling from this, and I clearly wasn't
Mhm.
that important to him,"
Yeah.
and so she's, like, totally freaking out, and so they're, like, having this, like, panic moment
Yeah.
where they acknowledge and realize each other, and he's like, "You look different. You don't have your piercing in, and you're wearing scrubs and glasses." And she's like, "What are you, a Disney prince? I put on glasses and become unrecognizable to you?" And he says, "You know I get hit in the head for a living, right?" I just
I
I
did
don't
like
know.
I did immediately like Jake.
Yeah, you liked Jake, but not Caleb?
I know. The broody bitch boys don't do it for me.
My favorite thing about you is how you surprise me all the time.
I also, as I'm saying that, I was like, wait, that was kind of vain though. I don't even know what I like, I guess.
Mhm.
Kind of all over the place.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Yeah.
You're
Makes
entitled
it
to that.
interesting.
Yeah. Do you wanna give a physical description of Jake?
All I have is mystery man written down.
Shoot,
I didn't get
he
any, and
has
that's what I'm saying. I feel he has light hair,
dark hair.
dark hair.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
So
think
I
he's got
don't
dark
remember
hair.
anything about him.
Yeah, I think he has dark hair, and then I think she also describes him as being very, like, lean and, like, muscled. So not like a big he's not like he is a defenseman, but he's not like a big guy, like somebody else that we meet later on
I
in
do
the
have a
book.
lot of descriptions later.
Ooh.
Mm,
This conversation is such a good way to build their dynamic.
yeah.
He's very, like, nurturing and lighthearted, and he does the same to her as he does to Caleb in sort of breaking down her walls. So Jake is to Caleb what Rachel is to Caleb, and Jake is to Rachel what Rachel is to Caleb.
They do have a good dynamic. I will give you that.
Mhm. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
He's very sweet.
All three of them.
Mhm. They have this sort of emotionally heated moment where they kiss, and then she does the, "No, don't."
I have notes here because I thought of you during this part because they have just this like earth-shattering chemistry and explosive kiss, and
Mhm.
you, I feel like, have said you don't love that when their, like, souls come together when
Yeah, that was not
when they
I
kiss.
that was not the highlight of this conversation. In my notes here, my next note says, "She tells him they can't see each other because she's his doctor and it's a conflict of interest."
Well, yeah.
So the amount of interest that I had here was they share an emotionally heated moment and they kiss. I just don't care if you're soulmates. If you are, good for you. The amount that I care about that is
0.
nothing. So I had a soulmate and he was horribly abusive and died. So after he
Okay.
yeah.
I feel like he maybe wasn't your soulmate. It was some love
Well,
bombing?
I think if you have a soulmate, you know your soulmate.
Yeah, I 100% think Day is my soulmate.
Yeah. But people are just people,
Yeah.
right? So your soulmate isn't always gonna be perfectly packaged, right? Like, sometimes your soulmate is a really good person who's also an addict, and
Alright,
I mean,
I
you
get
know what I
that.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
so it just so happened that in this lifetime, my soulmate was an addict who stalked me and then
Held you hostage
held
and
me hostage and then died.
died. Fair.
So, you know, I maybe that's why I'm such a fucking cynic. Oh my god. And today's therapy session with Nicole
Yeah,
talking about smutty books,
yeah.
we discovered something new about Amanda. After she's explained to him why they can't move forward with a relationship, he says, like, "Ride out the contract, but once it's over, we're endgame." And again, I love them together. I love a golden retriever, but I don't want only a golden retriever, which is why I like this book so
Of
much.
course.
We've been bouncing between POVs here, Caleb's, Rachel's, and Jake's, and now we get a fourth point of view, Ilmari. Ilmari is the goalie for the Rays. Coach describes him as the best damn goalie in the league. He's Finnish and he is being scouted to play for the Finnish Olympic team. But we learn he is hiding a groin injury. You want to give your physical description?
I do. So I do have a physical description for him.
Get out,
I
babe.
was back in with him, although I did not picture him this way. because he's blonde. Blonde hair, blonde beard,
Mhm.
long blonde hair that he wears in a top knot.
Mhm.
He has blue eyes and a big tattoo on his back. I'm
Mhm.
not picturing he's not blonde in my head.
I know that we normally just scooch out the blonde, but I did picture him as blonde.
But isn't that interesting? Because you have one dark hair, one red hair, and then one blonde. Like,
Mhm.
come on.
Caleb, I pictured as having sort of dirty dishwater blonde
Mm,
hair, not
mhm.
so much like red copperish.
Copper, yeah.
And Ilmari, I think that the blonde hair is acceptable because it was in a top knot.
I do, though. A lot of those, like, European hockey players do have blonde hair.
Mhm.
So I do
Yeah.
feel like that's probably accurate. I still
He's
don't like it.
he's so Finnish.
Yeah.
I can't not picture him as blonde.
Yeah, I get that.
She think describes him as looking like a Viking.
Yes. This hockey player is synonymous with Viking.
Sure. I think I've been
Missing
slapped.
out.
Yeah.
You have missing out.
I was over here like, no, I really like baseball players because they have good
Ugh.
butts.
No.
And no, this whole time it
No,
was
if
hockey
you and
players.
then when I showed you that video of the hockey
Mhm.
player stretching, are you kidding me?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I texted you back and said, not a leap to think that these would make it into a smutty book.
No,
Uh,
like, I can see why there is a genre
oh, yeah,
for this. After watching
absolutely.
that, I get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Ilmari is immediately attracted to Rachel, and he says something that I love about him. He says Americans fake smile to put people at ease, but that he doesn't want her fake smiles. He wants to earn them. I really like Ilmari.
I really like Omari. Is he the Aries?
He's the
I
Aries.
love that. No wonder,
Yeah.
because I'm an Aries, and I
Mm,
love another Aries. I don't have any Aries in my life.
really?
No,
That's interesting.
I know. I have
Oh.
all the Virgos, so if anybody ever needs a Virgo,
You
I've
have
got them.
to spare.
I've got 1,000 of them.
Oh my God. He's very gruff. He's kind of a lone wolf. He doesn't socialize much with the rest of the team. And Rachel is required to complete a physical on all of the players, but because of his injury, Ilmari is avoiding getting it set up. We're back to Rachel and the guys. Caleb and Jake are hereby known as the
The
guys
guys.
because they're a pair.
Yes, 100%.
Rachel and Jake have begun the grueling process of torturing one another.
I did like this part.
Mhm. Jake kicks things off by texting her all day. Every random thought that he has, he's sending her pictures
Yeah.
of avocados, and I love him.
He's not taking no for an answer.
No, they're each other's lobsters, and
Yeah,
I think it's so cute.
they are.
She's ignoring all of his
Yeah.
messages. So he's texting her on repeat all day, and she's not even responding. He's like, I don't care. I'm just
No,
gonna keep
he
texting
doesn't
her.
care though either.
No, he
He's
wants her to
Yes,
know that he's thinking about her, and
yeah.
he doesn't care if it's not reciprocated. So she has a little pep talk with her friend Tess, and Tess gets her the nerve to decide that she's going to sext Jake to say goodbye,
Yep.
which is so dramatic and absolutely feels like something that I would do.
Oh, same. I love sending I used to, I don't anymore.
Yeah.
Used to love sending men dirty pictures when I knew there's nothing they could do about it.
Yeah.
The best.
See, and I was thinking of it from the perspective of like, we can't do this anymore. So just like one last one for the road.
I feel here though, that's something that I feel like you do when you know it's not done.
Yeah. I think she secretly knows that it's not done,
Yeah,
even though she's kind of doing it under
yeah,
like the guise of saying goodbye.
right.
Well, they end up FaceTiming. He is at a restaurant with the team. So he has to go to the bathroom. She's back at her apartment. They end up FaceTiming. She's masturbating. He's jacking off in the restaurant bathroom. He has her ride a toy,
Not the big octopus.
not the big purple octopus one, a different she apparently came
She came prepared.
prepared.
I do love that about her, 'cause same.
They both come and he basically says he doesn't care what context their relationship is in, friend, boyfriend, fuck buddy, he doesn't care. He'll take whatever he can get from her. And again, I just love him.
I did write down those pages. I'm not sure how sexy it was, but it was from page 100 to 104. We need to do our disclaimer. because the book has different pages than I read it on Kindle Unlimited. So these are Kindle Unlimited pages,
Sure.
not book
The
pages.
physical book has different pages.
So I'm about, I think the book or the Kindle Unlimited is about twice as long.
Yeah.
You'd be looking much sooner.
This book gets sexy right away.
Yeah.
There is a lot of sex in this book.
Yeah.
So much sex.
Yeah. I didn't even read them all because I was like, oh my God, all right. I
Yeah.
can't.
This is a very smutty book.
Very.
Yeah. We get some insight into Caleb, who we find out here is queer. Maybe I'm just reading so much of myself into this book, and that's the
Yeah.
only reason that I like it. But
Yeah.
I read his story and I felt very, very connected to his experience.
Sure.
He talks about how growing up in locker rooms, he would disassociate. And that at 22, if you had asked him if he liked men, he would have laughed in your face. But when the burden of being an NHL star was lifted from him, he could take his first unrestricted queer breath. And like, obviously, a book is total oversimplification of that self-discovery. And I know like every queer experience is different, but I could relate to this.
Yeah.
I relate to this experience just so hard. And
it did give him more depth for sure. He still didn't do it for me.
yeah. And I think that I fell in love with him more reading that part. So I definitely had like I don't know if you remember this movie. It's called But I'm a Cheerleader.
Yes.
Natasha Leone.
Yes.
I absolutely had that experience.
Yeah.
So yeah, that entire scene was so great for me to read. Caleb is starting to find that he has feelings associated with not just Rachel, but also for the idea of Rachel and Jake, because he can tell that Jake hasn't told him that she's his Seattle girl,
Right.
but he can sense their like chemistry, and the idea of them together kind of does it for him. And it ends up turning into a little bit of a spiral about being left in the wake of a Jake Rachel partnership. And for the moment, he's kind of thinking that he's safe from that happening because he thinks that Rachel is hung up on this mystery man, and again has no idea that that mystery man is in fact Jake. We get a moment here between Caleb and Rachel. Caleb is seemingly always bailing Rachel out of trouble, and she is feeling like she wants to do something to help him. As Jake continues his antics, she gets accustomed to her new position. The team is hazing her, and Elmari is still avoiding her attempts at getting him in for a physical. She opts to kind of give Caleb a hard time about how bossy he is with the team, and teases him about getting on the ice to show them how it's done, to which he storms off. And this is where Rachel learns about his career and his injury. So,
how did she not Google him already?
I
don't even, that to me.
He's an equipment manager, though.
I'm Googling every man I meet.
Oh, wait, what? Do you do that? Did you Google me? I'm not a man, but did you Google me when you met me?
No.
Okay.
But if I have a romantic interest in somebody, I'm Googling them. What if like Watchdog comes up or something? I'm not going to get involved with.
Do you think that at this point that she has a physical
their
crush on
neighbors?
him? I don't. At this point, I feel like she's still in denial.
No,
I feel like she's
when I meet
still.
new people, I'm constantly thinking about having sex with them. So maybe that's
Maybe that's why. Off mic, we need to talk about all the people that you've Googled.
Yeah.
While making amends, they share a moment which Caleb ends, leaving everyone hot and bothered. I was like,
You were hot and bothered.
I was like, let's just do this already.
So I was just like, we already talked about voyeurism, so just do it.
Yeah.
I would have just done it.
Well,
a sexy former hockey player.
Again, she just got done masturbating to Jake jacking off in a bathroom.
Sure.
So I feel like her mind is elsewhere.
Yeah.
The team is traveling. Apparently, professional athletes have some serious superstitions.
Oh, yeah.
Which I did not know about.
Oh, yeah, 100%. That's definitely, like, they don't wash things ever, and they have to wear certain things. Yeah, I think it's all athletes. It's not even just professional. I think it might be also a big hockey player thing.
Oh, interesting.
I think.
Yeah, they talk about it in this book, like duh.
Yeah.
Everybody knows.
I'm married to a hockey player, so.
Sure.
Not a professional one, but still.
Ilmari's superstition is about which seat he sits in when he travels on the plane. And Rachel has unknowingly sat in his seat. She agrees to move, but only to the seat next to his because she's throwing a fit.
I would have done this.
Yeah,
I would
me
have
too.
done this same thing.
Uh-huh.
Like, I am not fucking moving.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, you want me to move? All right.
Mm-hmm. And then you
Sit
can sit
right
right
next to
here
you.
next to me,
Yeah.
especially after how you've been avoiding me.
Yep.
So she confronts him about why he has missed all of their physical appointments, and she's mad, and I love it. And I love that she calls him out on it. This man is massive.
Yeah.
This man
He's
is
a big
scary.
dude.
This dude is big. The
Yeah.
way that they describe him in this book
Yeah.
is like Peter Pan
Yeah.
big, like fills up a doorway,
Mhm.
has to duck to go. Yeah,
That had me going.
of course it did.
Yeah. And I think I like the quiet ones,
Mhm.
not the brooding ones. Like, Omar's just quiet. He keeps to himself, but he's not, like, brooding like Caleb is.
You are so blinded by the fact that he's a giant
I
man
really am, I
that
think.
you think that he's not brooding when he absolutely is brooding.
He's doing it silently,
Both Jake and Caleb describe him as brooding.
but he's doing it silently. You can
God.
brood, I guess, if I don't have to hear about it.
This is why I like these books so much, is because she gets both a golden retriever and the strong silent type, which I also like.
Sure.
But you can't have them both in the same person. He's a big, scary guy, can't get more than 2 words out of his mouth when she's around, and she's absolutely berating him about
Yeah.
how disrespectful he is, and he is forced to accept her proximity, which he finds distracting, of course, because he is attracted to her. After she gives him an ultimatum, tell me why you keep avoiding our appointments or get used to sharing your air, he decides that he's just going to have to share her air
Yeah.
because he's not willing to tell her about the groin injury. After a shutout game, however,
Now she's stuck.
now she's
He is
stuck.
his good luck charm.
Yeah.
I do love that whole scene, though, where she's like, "You guys, like, this is ridiculous. Like, help me out here, Jake." And he's like, "Oh, hell no. We
Yeah.
do not mess with the goalie," which I also do love. It's that power thing, I think.
Oh my.
I think I have a power kink.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I know.
Look at all the things we're discovering about ourselves.
I feel like that's some daddy issues or something.
Be. Except that your daddy is only like 5 feet tall, so somehow it doesn't translate.
I think that maybe that's
Why?
Yeah,
Because your dad wasn't a big, strong man?
maybe. I don't
Mm,
know. I married the exact opposite.
yeah.
When people say women marry their dad, I didn't.
Oh, I definitely didn't. Yeah. My husband is nothing like my dad.
No.
No. My dad is 6'5" or 6'7". My dad is very tall. My husband is
And that is an interesting way to go.
hmm.
When your dad is a big man and you go for a little one.
I love a short king.
Sure.
I don't know why. For whatever reason, and this happens in your office all the time where I'll be like, "Oh, he's cute." And you're like, "He's short."
And then I see, like, a big tall one, and
Yeah.
that, like, I'm just blinded. That's all I can see. I care about nothing else.
The thing is that I think that short men have better face cards than tall men in most cases.
And usually personalities. Tall men have only tall working for them.
They really do.
Anytime Dave and I are watching something and I comment like, "Oh, he's attractive," he's like, "But he's short." Like, that's also all he sees.
So I personally am made giddy by the fact that she now has to sit so close to him all the time because she's also attracted to him, and
Yeah.
I love their dynamic. The team's going to go out to a club, and while out, Rachel gets her chance to right her wrongs with Caleb when his ex, a puck bunny,
Yeah.
and this is a thing.
It's a thing.
I
Yeah.
know about
Yeah. Girls that literally just go for hockey players because of
the
hockey.
stretchings.
The stretches. Literally.
Facts. Her name is Aspen, which, like, of course it is.
Literally, of course.
Shows up at the club to sink her teeth into him and get an intro to the guys on the team. And Rachel rescues him by pretending to be his girlfriend in an absolutely brilliant spectacle where she calls this woman everything but her name.
I loved that part.
Mhm. Aspen storms off. When she leaves, Jake steps in and asks her to dance, which Rachel accepts.
I do love that also. This made me like Jake a little more because Caleb's his best friend. Rachel is sitting on Caleb's lap, and this is a power play. Jake coming up to Rachel and literally pulling her off of someone else's lap.
He's chomping at the bit,
Loved that part.
watching it happen. You do love the jealousy.
I do.
Yeah.
And there
I
was really none of that in this book. And
Yeah.
I think that's why I really didn't like it.
And I think that I'm in love with Caleb's, and I think I'm a little bit in love with Rachel, and I was a little bit just, like, frustrated with,
Yeah.
like, just let them be initially
Yeah.
the first time that I read it. The second time that I read it, I knew exactly what was gonna happen. I was so excited about it,
Yeah.
so Rachel accepts Jake's offer to dance, but asks Caleb to join them, which is talk about a fucking power move.
Yeah.
It doesn't get more power move than that.
And that was interesting too because she knows that they're like the what is it?
The
DL.
DLC, yeah.
So she knows that, but she doesn't know is
Oh,
Jake
no.
would Jake be into this?
Yeah,
Like,
no.
bring another guy to dance,
Mhm.
especially when they're this masculine and possibly territorial, was interesting of her.
I really love
Of course
her.
she did.
Yeah. Mhm. I mean, I think, like, it's one of those things where it's like, if you don't ask, you don't know,
Very true.
you know? They don't make it to the dance floor. Jake and Rachel meet at the bottom of the stairs for a kiss, and then Rachel decides that she's gonna test the water and turns to Caleb for a kiss. I will tell you that many of my threesomes have started in a similar fashion.
Interesting. I have always wondered how they start.
I can think of maybe a small handful of them where we had a very specific
Yeah.
conversation about are you okay with this? Are you okay with this? But I would say a
Yeah.
larger handful of them started because, like, I was making out with one person and then I was making out with another person and I just had no
That's
shame.
yeah.
So
Good for you.
they end up in a utility closet.
Yep.
So we've been in a bathroom and now a utility closet. I understand now why Nicole does not like this book. This is not romantic enough for her.
No, it's not.
They all consent to what's happening, so they do talk about it. They kind of feel each other out. We learn that Caleb has a Jacob's ladder piercing and likes to watch Jake with women, so they've been doing that for a long
Yeah.
time.
This
Should've
was kind of hot. I like the watching a little bit. Also, the piercing,
Mhm,
half the hockey books I've read have this. So I
mhm.
wonder if this is, like, really a hockey thing
I do, I wonder that also.
because
Well, in one of them, I feel like it's almost a necessity because he's so large that I feel like it would not be pleasurable without
without
it.
it.
But Caleb is not that large.
Have you been with anybody with
I have never.
me either?
No, I definitely feel like it's something that I'm gonna be very sad if I miss out on it before I die.
Fine.
I Bitch isn't dead yet. So Rachel ties Caleb up with his belt, and then he directs Jake while he's tied up on what to do with Rachel, and he praises him
Mhm.
here, which Jake and Rachel both love.
Yeah.
I love that Jake loves to be praised.
Yep.
It makes me feel all kinds of things. Caleb has Jake finger Rachel, and then fuck her from behind while she sucks his dick. They all come. Rachel gets 3 orgasms, and they head back to the hotel together.
Good for her. Just
Mm,
getting it.
what are the pages for that?
That sexy scene is from 176 to 184.
So on their way home, hell breaks loose in the cab. No one's talking. Jake's overthinking. They
Jake is spiraling.
He is fully spiraling because he thinks that he lifts out the easiest.
Yes.
Caleb and Rachel are so
Yep.
smart, and he's just
Yeah.
a big dumb
And
golden
he thinks
retriever.
he's gonna get left
Yeah.
behind, and he's literally even thinking about transferring to another team. He's
He
so
went
full
from
of
0 to
spirals.
100.
Yes.
I love that he starts to try to talk about it, and both Rachel and Caleb are like, "Oh my god,
Which
keep a
yeah.
lid on it," and he's like, "This amazing thing just happened, and I just wanna talk about it." He's so sweet. So they get out of the cab. Which one of them gets out of the cab? One of them jumps out of, like
Jake. Jake
jumps
jumps
out.
out of the cab. Like, it's moving, he jumps out.
Yes. Caleb and Rachel are like, "All right, well, we have to go get
Yeah.
him. We can't just leave him here." They end up at a restaurant, and I really love this part because we're really seeing how love-struck Jake is.
Yeah.
He, like, goes off on a tangent. He's like, "I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating. You're not texting me back." Despite all of that, I am still absolutely madly in love with you.
Yeah.
And he's still consistently positive, happy, charismatic. He never feels like grumpy or
Mhm.
moody or, he really maintains that really positive personality. And I also love, we kind of touched on this already, you brought it up a little bit earlier. I love the way that this author writes the interactions between her characters. She adds all these little activities in between the sentences. So like in this scene, they're like having the conversation, they're fighting over creamer. In another scene, Caleb's dog's tail is wagging in his face, and there's like all these like little actions that really bring a lot of life and levity to the interactions and make me feel like I'm part of the team.
It sets the scene so well. Like you can literally picture, I skip all of that, but if you read it, it really brings you into that scene.
Rachel and Ilmari begin their little dance here. And I want to talk about this flight only because she's asking him to ask her questions. And he's so fucking thoughtful.
He is.
He'll think of a question and then stop himself and they'll be like, that's too personal. I'm not going to ask her that.
Yeah.
Or, oh, that's like too invasive. Maybe she would think that that's boring. Like he is really trying to figure out.
He wants to connect with her.
He does.
Yeah.
And I love that. And that's the only reason that I brought that scene up.
But yeah, I do love that.
Once back to Jacksonville, Rachel finds Ilmari during workouts and physically forces him to tell her what's going on by jumping on his back and clicking to him.
I can picture you doing this, like, be my friend or else.
Honestly, look at, he is being so stubborn.
Yep.
She is a little person and he is a big man. Yeah. And she can't, there's no way that she's going to hurt him.
No.
And this, for me, brought me back to Twilight.
Spider Monkey.
Yes. I will never leave my Twilight shitposting.
No, of course
I'm going to be in them for the rest. I'm going to be 90 years old showing.
We should watch
Twilight shitposting memes
and react to Twilight because I've only ever seen it one time when it first came out. Oh, so that could be fun.
Great. It's not streaming anywhere right now. You'd have to buy it.
Shoot.
I know.
I'm not interested in that.
Well, I own them, so it's fine. You can come over to my house.
Okay. Okay.
She assesses him and puts together a plan and thus begins their friendship. Rachel heads back to her place where she and Caleb battle it out. Caleb is ready to bow out, showing that he's worried that he'll ruin everything between Rachel and Jake, and he doesn't want to risk his friendship with Jake, but Rachel is not easily scared, and they sort of are doing this like back and forth dance. Yeah. And she is, I think, initially underestimated by Caleb. Like, I think Caleb is one of those guys that thinks that he's smarter than her, and she's way fucking smarter than him.
He's a fucking doctor.
He's a fucking doctor, sir.
Assistant equipment manager.
It takes him a while to break down. But she acknowledges that they both love Jake and convinces Caleb that while Jake is their angel, Caleb is her devil. Rachel says, Jake is our angel. He makes us both feel bright and shiny. He sees us for all that we are. But I think you might just see me for all that I hide. You're in this, Kay, with me, with us. Be my devil. Come dance with me in the dark.
Very sweet. I don't think I read that part.
You didn't. You oh my God. Caleb is fingering Rachel.
Yes. In her kitchen.
Yep. They're both carnal. They're both absolutely out of their mind. She calls Caleb baby. And he says, I'm not your baby. Who am I? And she calls him daddy. And he lays her out on her island and fucks her.
I'm surprised I didn't write that down because we've talked about the daddy thing.
You don't like the daddy thing.
I could get to daddy.
Oh, I could get to daddy real easily.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This scene for me was very sexy. Then he flips her over and he fucks her from behind. And they both come. I did not count her orgasms because I was delirious through this whole scene.
Yeah, just 1,000.
They dirty talk the whole time about not just what they're doing, but what they're going to do with Jake. And it's so good. And
that is from page 245 to 251.
At the end of this, he says, as you swept into my legs like a swirling storm of chaos, you shattered everything. I'm in fucking free fall. No parachute, no one to catch me. His obsidian gaze locks on me, shattering my last shred of control. I'll catch you, I say on a breath. Let me catch you. Fall into me. Oh my
Yeah.
God. She's a fucking poet.
Yeah,
I
this writer, I do think is yeah, she's very, very good. I do
Yeah.
still wanna read, not her next book, but the book after, the book about Tess. That's still on my list.
Well, I love this scene. They have all decided that they're going to move in together.
Yeah.
And so they head to their new home, which is Jake's home. Rachel and Jake get a moment alone in the shower. He eats Rachel out and then she straddles him. They both come. It's all very romantic.
Yeah,
I did not like the scene
yeah,
because it was just a little too sweet.
yeah, too
I
much
like.
in love.
What page is this on?
This scene is from page 264 to 266. It's a short,
Yeah.
lovely one.
Yeah. I do like that they talk about how everything works, and when she gets there, he's, like, bouncing on his heels. He wants time with her, but he also is very respectful about sharing, and he's like, "You guys had sex. I know that you had sex. Does that mean that I don't get to have sex?"
Yeah.
Like,
He does not. He needs to know exactly the
Mhm,
logistics of this. I feel like
mhm.
that would probably be how I would be, because I would need to know what the boundaries are, what I can and can't do, what am I included in?
Yeah.
What part do I play?
I just love how he is so vulnerable with
Yeah.
Caleb and Rachel.
Yeah.
He is like, "I don't know how any of this works, and I just want somebody to hold my hand and tell me how it
Yes,
works."
that's
And
all he wants.
yeah, and
He's not taking the lead in any of this.
no, he's so sweet. We get a few cute scenes here reinforcing the throuple's relationship, Jake being the joy and fun-loving partner, and Caleb being the caretaker. After a particularly hard game, Rachel gets into a fight with Ilmari after he misses a shot because of his injury, and Rachel benches him to protect him from himself. While they're arguing about it, he grabs her and kisses her, and she initially kisses him back and then
Realizes what she's doing and pushes him away, like,
stops it.
yes.
And he agrees to a plan that she's concocted to get
Yeah.
him stands. After the game, Caleb and Rachel go to Jake's hotel room with goodies to play.
I did like this scene, and it did lead me down a rabbit hole.
You told me
I
unequivocally
know.
that you didn't even read these scenes,
I
and
did.
you
I love a scene with toys,
okay, well,
and
it's not all that bad then, is it?
I've never experienced a threesome, and I've never experienced this type of toy,
Mm,
so I was intrigued by this scene.
really? Just
Yeah.
like the floppiness of like the flopping movement of the toy?
I think
Or
just all of
just
it.
the fact that it's like a tentacle?
Yeah. I
Sure.
don't have a tentacle, and I've never done a tentacle. I
No.
have red tentacle.
You have red tentacle.
So, I think that this
Okay.
intrigued me. She enjoyed herself.
Yeah, she did. Yes. I'm telling you, this does not seem so bad. I know you're
Well,
against it.
okay, but we're only on, like, the 4th out of 20th sex scene.
Sure.
I was still
Buckle
revved up
up,
here.
babies. They bring Rachel's purple dildo to play. And initially, she had told Caleb when he picked it up off of the street in front of the airport that
Yeah,
she'd never used it before, but
as a gag gift.
she lied and
She does.
absolutely knows how to use it.
Yes. Even
Uh,
tells him what setting to put it on.
yeah. Yes. I really love this scene because Rachel is sort of giving power to Caleb because he likes to be in charge,
Yeah.
but she's actually in charge. She's
Yeah. The
really
woman is always in charge.
she's topping from the bottom, which I don't generally like, but I really like it in this whole book. So she calls Caleb over so that he can direct Jake and Rachel. And he holds Rachel's head while she gives Jake head. So he's controlling her head, directing her. Then he and Jake make Rachel come using the purple tentacle.
Yeah.
Once she's warmed up, she straddles Caleb. And then once Caleb is inside of her, Jake joins them. Caleb,
Same hole.
double vaginal penetration. Caleb and Rachel are stationary while Jake fucks Rachel, and then they all come.
And that is from page 310 to 322. I
Nobody on the podcast can see this, but I'm staring at Nicole right now, waiting for her reaction.
I no.
No.
No, I'm not doing that.
No.
No. That's a
I
lot.
have
Even after Googling these tentacle toys, I don't think I could stretch that far.
yeah, I've never done double vaginal penetration. Never.
Have you ever done double
Double penetration, but never double vaginal.
mouth?
Mouth and
Or have you done Oh, okay, okay. I do watch that kind of porn sometimes just
yeah,
because I'm curious,
yeah.
but I've never done it.
Oh, it's so good. Highly recommend. Rachel convinces Ilmari to come to a team party at the beach where she springs on him that she has a plan. She's arranged a way to get scans without his overseeing physician knowing by bringing him to the doctor who she was previously working for in Cincinnati and who she's already updated on the details of his case and has already agreed to it. Ilmari agrees. Rachel goes home and she explains the plan to the guys, and they go into something called sudden death mode, which is something that apparently only happens in the kitchen. And
Yeah.
they
This
basically,
whole part was just kind of annoying.
oh
I
my,
was so over it.
you are such
It for somebody who doesn't like the big romance books, this was a little sappy for me.
this.
It was
They're
just
fighting. She
they're
throws a
so
plate of pasta.
vulnerable. I don't
Okay.
know. I think I was just a
The
little over it.
vulnerability isn't what bothers me about the big, great romance things. Okay. I'm totally fine with
I'm a little
vulnerability.
surface level, I think.
I don't like those big sappy scenes because they feel very surface level to me. They're
Sure.
always like, our bodies collided and then we saw stars. And it's like, you've known each other for 4 seconds and you're seeing stars. Let's just fucking chill. Okay. But this scene here, I think
Mhm.
it's fun. I don't know. Again, I really like their dynamic. I like the way that they communicate with each other. Again, it's not scripted, it's not perfect. I think in a lot of these polyamorous type books, they always feel very scripted. There's
Yeah.
always somebody that knows the exact right thing to say.
Yeah. I could see
And
that.
this group is just, they're just making the best of it. They have no idea what they're doing. Nobody is the boss of it. Rachel
Right.
doesn't know what she's doing. I don't know. I just really like it. But they kind of put everything on the table, and Rachel admits that she doesn't know what's happening with Elmari. But Jake and Caleb both know that Elmari is interested in
Yeah.
Rachel. And Jake admits that he feels like he lifts right out again. And after aggressively confronting him, Caleb admits to Rachel that he is in love with her. She accuses him of holding back, and she provokes him into showing them what he's really capable of, and they get to play again. And I can't believe that you don't
It
like
is there's a lot of sex. But
yeah.
this was just like, oh, we've already done it. Caleb's already directed them. We've already seen a sex scene.
Mhm.
Except this is the first one that Jake and Caleb
Mhm.
doing,
Yeah.
which didn't do much for me either.
Yeah. So he asks Jake if he wants to stay. And when he nods, he points to a spot next to him and commands him to stand there, and Jake obeys. And Caleb degrades both Rachel and Jake, and to Rachel's surprise, Jake is hard and enjoying it, which
Mhm.
I love. Caleb commands that Rachel suck Jake's dick. These scenes are so hard to recap because they're so choreographed.
Yes.
It makes it I'm like, as I'm going through this, I'm like, God, there's a lot. There's
Yes.
a lot of really specific type of play that's happening.
Mhm.
Makes the scene sexy, but is hard to recap
Yeah.
without sort of doing a play-by-play.
Right.
A lot of the appeal of this scene to me is the combination of degradation and the delayed gratification, and seeing Jake submit to Caleb is, like, incredibly sexy. But this entire scene, it's like
I feel
Jake
like
likes to be praised.
this scene has things that you like and I really do not.
Yeah. Jake likes to be praised. Caleb gets Jake on his knees and directs him to suck his dick, and Jake is not worried about doing this with him. He's worried that it won't be good.
Mhm.
So Rachel steps in, gives him a little tutorial. Rachel has taken control of the situation. And then Caleb comes in Jake's mouth. Rachel commands Jake not to swallow, collects the cum into her mouth, blows Jake until he comes, and then spits a little of the mixture into each of their mouths before swallowing her portion.
This part, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it.
Yeah.
That
I
does so nothing.
I know that the thing about it is like, again, all of this, what I just recapped was so fast. The fun of this scene was the delayed gratification of it
Mhm.
all. And it was like
Yeah.
the degradation. And
It's been
I,
destroyed for me.
yeah, I really just like love how she takes control of it. And I love that they're a team. They all get a little bit.
I
So
guess.
I am obsessed with her. What are the pages for that scene?
That one is 353 to 366.
Ooh, that's a nice long scene.
It is a little bit of a long one.
You couldn't deal with it.
I did recap it.
Mhm. When I tell you that I love a little degradation from one man to another man,
See, I don't.
it's
I don't think I love to be praised. I
mhm,
don't do the degradation.
sure. I like a
Yeah.
little mixture. At the end of the scene, Caleb says something to the effect of, "I'd follow you off of a cliff,"
Yeah.
to Rachel, and I believe him. I
Oh,
would
yeah.
I would follow Rachel off of a cliff.
Of course you
So,
would.
whew, Rachel. Ilmari and Rachel are traveling to Cincinnati, where she confesses to Ilmari, who is very clearly interested in her, that she is with both Jake and Caleb. This upsets Ilmari, who tells her that he doesn't share. And I, once again, really love Rachel because this man, again, is scary.
Mhm.
And he is accusing her of managing Jake and Caleb, and he is absolutely correct in
Yes.
how he called that, but she never backs down from him in this scene.
Yeah.
She is very persistent that she knows what she's doing and that there's nothing wrong with it. They arrive in Cincinnati. They greet the doctor only to discover that Rachel's old boss, Dr. Hala, is Ilmari's father, biological father.
I was not expecting
Oh,
that.
you didn't see that twist?
No.
No, I didn't either. This is a great book. You enjoyed it. Just admit it. Dr. Holland knew and intentionally didn't tell Rachel because Ilmari and he have a bad relationship after he left Ilmari and his mother. Mars was taken in by his neighbor who taught him how to play hockey, and he took his name. So that is kind of Ilmari, Ilmari's relationship with his dad. Rachel convinces him to get the scans anyways. They confirm a labral tear and administer a cortisone shot and put together a plan for recovery. And then they all go to dinner. And this part is where, again, like I'm reminded that I really like Rachel. She tells Dr. Hala she is a foul tempered, potty mouth disaster and that her past would have some men running for the hills.
Do love that.
Ilmari makes a decision that he is going to look past the Jake and Caleb thing and take Rachel back to his hotel. So
Yep.
he makes Rachel say that she is his and that she wants this. This is so sexy.
This scene was very sexy. I
He
agree.
tells her over and over, tell me to stop. And she says no.
Yeah.
Tell me to stop. And he says no. He tells her he will not be gentle. He will not wear a condom and that this is a claiming. And
I did think this was really sexy.
yeah, he has her bend over and grab her ankles. And then he takes her from behind until she comes and then moves her to the bed where he eats her out until she comes, then gets on top of her, comes inside of her, and then makes her show him.
Yep.
How was this for you?
I did like most of this scene.
Did you?
I like the claiming.
Sure. Well, she says in the scene, like, that he has no refractory period, basically. He just keeps
Yeah.
going and keeps going and keeps
Which
going.
honestly would probably annoy me in real life. Give me a fucking break. I'm not doing this right away.
Sure. With barely another breath, he gets her on her hands and knees, and then he takes her ass until they both come again. And Ilmari has a breeding kink.
Yeah. I didn't
with
know what that was.
Oh, really?
Mm-mm.
Oh, see, I have a breeding kink, so
Sure.
I did know what it was.
Mhm.
I only like the idea of having them come inside me. I don't like the idea of actually getting pregnant.
Yeah,
Yeah.
same. Absolutely not. Obviously.
So I have no some of these things I'm like, I kind of know where I get my kink for that. That is one that I don't understand. So
Yeah.
I just go with it. They discuss what this means, and Ilmari basically agrees to what
Yeah.
they're
He
doing.
says that he needs to see her with Jake and Caleb to get it.
She says here that Caleb and Jake love sharing and she loves being shared. And Queen Rachel, we actually talk in one of the episodes about how I love sharing.
Yeah.
I love sharing, but I also want to be shared. I
I
would never just want to share. I only want to share if I'm also being shared.
see, and I don't want to share or be shared. I want one person. I want possessive. I want,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Ilmari is possessive.
I know. And I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is what I like about it.
Mm-hmm. What page is that on?
This scene, the whole thing is from 416 to 427.
Okay. It's a good scene.
It is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You're over it. You're so over it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From here on out,
Mhm.
the scenes, I felt like I read them already.
Sure. See, and I just thought they were all just so fun.
Hmm.
After their trip in Cincinnati, Rachel takes Mars back to their place being her, Jake, and Caleb's. And the guys hash things out. Jake shares that he's jealous of anyone else being with Caleb. And Caleb makes Jake suck his dick while Rachel does Ilmari, and then she gets eaten out by Jake again.
Nope, the scene did nothing for me.
Oh, great. What page is that on?
And that is 445 to 461.
The quad has a little heart to heart, trying to decide what comes next. And we don't get a lot of answers, but Rachel decides that she's going to start to push the guys out of their comfort zone. She gets Mars and Caleb into the shower where she wraps her legs around a standing Mars while he's in her vaginally and Caleb fucks her ass. Caleb is the only one moving in this scene because of his Jacob's ladder.
Mhm.
Also stimulating Ilmari, and they all come. What page is that on?
That page is from 489 to 494. We're kind of back to back to back here.
Yeah,
You
we
see
are.
how I could see this was just a lot.
Too much for you.
I think so.
I
I need
wish.
the sexy scene. I need to text Dave,
Mhm,
get it, and
mhm,
then read some more plot.
mhm,
This is just bam, bam, bam. And I'm like, I've already gotten it. I'm good. I discovered that I'm okay with reverse harem in fantasy. Like,
yeah.
we're just on the beach, we're in Neverland. I
Mhm,
have not a care in the world. Like, this book, it did go really into the logistics and the
mhm,
real life issues with it, or how people
mhm.
would react and things like that,
Yeah,
that I don't wanna deal with.
sure.
And I think that's where it loses me because I
Mhm.
really did like the Never King series,
Yeah,
and I didn't like this.
sure. Yeah. I mean, these types of relationships, though, I honestly feel like this book, there really isn't even enough communication, and they communicate a lot about it.
My
And I
god,
think for
so
like
much.
an actual relationship with this dynamic, in order for it to be successful, they'd have to actually be even more communicative than they are in here. But I mean, I don't know. The communication part of it doesn't bother me at all because
I
they
was
get.
just kinda bored.
I know you are. I'm sorry, babe.
There wasn't enough drama.
Oh. If anybody was worried about Jake being left out, he gets his moments a few days later in a storage closet where he does Rachel from behind while she sucks on Mars' dick. So they have that. What page is that on?
That one is 497 to 502, literally 3 pages later.
Yep. This is a good book.
Mhm.
Rachel and Caleb play a little game with Jake. They decide to tease him by wearing his and Ilmari's jersey to the next game. So basically, like Rachel is wearing Jake's jersey
Jersey.
and Caleb is wearing Ilmari's jersey, and then they swap the jerseys. And then they like show themselves at the press conference after the game
Yeah.
wearing the opposite jerseys. And both of the men, both Ilmari and Jake, like basically lose their minds.
Yeah, they're both pissed.
Apparently, it's a really big deal to be
Yeah.
wearing.
And nobody is allowed to wear Omari's jersey except for Rachel.
Right. because he's, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Caleb takes Rachel home. He ties her to four corners of the bed, blindfolded, and then video calls Jake and Hilmari to tease them about getting home as soon as possible. In his anger, Jake accuses Ilmari of not being all in. They get back to the house where Caleb has been edging Rachel for 10 minutes.
Absolutely fucking not. Can I tell I do not like to be tied up.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely not. If you have been doing this to me for 2 minutes,
Mm-hmm.
now I'm getting actually pissed.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
I enjoy delayed
Oh my God.
gratification, so
I don't. I do
that's
not.
probably why I like this book, because
Yes, it's all.
I don't get off on the first couple of scenes. I just delay it and drag it out
I
as long
don't.
as possible.
First scene, I'm turned
Yeah.
on, I'm ready to go, and
Yeah.
then I'm over it.
Yeah.
This, I no.
Yeah.
Hard no for this scene.
I hear you. Well,
Mhm.
it
Do not.
doesn't, yeah. If you didn't like that part, doesn't get any better here.
No.
Ilmari and Jake get home, and as punishment, they tie Caleb to the dresser, blindfold, and gag him. So he can't see and he can't do any directing. So that's his punishment. Jake fucks Rachel while she's tied up. They untie her, and Ilmari has her straddle him while he's on his knees, and then they come again. And then they untie Caleb. Rachel straddles Ilmari. Caleb is in her ass, and Jake takes Caleb's ass, and they all come again. It's euphoria. There's aftercare. It's
Way too much for me.
oh my God, I love it so much.
I know you did.
I did.
And that all 4 of them was 5:32 to 5:49.
So they have their aftercare moment. They bring one of the mattresses in from one of the other rooms, and they put both mattresses on the floor, and they all share the bedroom. And it's so sweet.
Also, I would have hated that. I don't
Mhm.
know if you've ever slept in the same bed as a hockey player. They are big, they snore, they
Mhm.
are loud, they move around a lot because they all have arthritis because they've
Mhm.
just been beat to shit. This sounds like my worst fucking nightmare.
Mhm. They all just had endless sex where everybody's minds were absolutely blown. I don't think anybody is conscious enough in their sleep to know what anybody else is
Oh my
doing.
God.
After that scene, I would crash so fucking hard. I would be in a coma. You wouldn't be able to wake me up.
I've never been fucked to sleep.
Yeah,
I'm usually revved up after that and I'm wide awake.
oh
I
no.
don't go to sleep after sex. I'm awake.
Oh, no. I sometimes if I can't sleep in the middle of the night, I'll wake Miguel up so that I can get fucked,
Yep.
and then I sleep like a baby.
That's
So,
safe. I'd
yeah.
rather get it in the morning because then I'm ready to go.
That explains your Saturday morning sex.
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Getting you all prepped for the weekend.
Exactly. Then I'm ready to go.
Things are starting to unravel for the quad. Rumors are starting to trickle out that there are salacious activities happening with the teammates, and a couple of the guys on the team approach Caleb to talk to him about it. And the group decides as a unit that they are going to publicly come out after the Olympic scouts have come to watch Ilmari play. One of the things in this, when I was making my notes here, is that because I write they both come, they all come so many times,
Yeah.
all of my comes, even if it's not about actually coming, like this one here, until the scouts have come, is written as come. C-U-M. My brain just was like,
Yeah.
all
The only time you see come is
I need to
yeah.
spell it now.
Yep.
The next game the guys have is against a team that has a player on it who is the same player who injured Caleb all of those years prior. And after a particularly rough game, Jake and Caleb find themselves alone in one of the arena's back rooms where things start to get heated, and one of the other equipment managers walks in on them fooling around with each other. While this is happening, Ilmari is meeting with the Finnish Olympic scouts, securing his spot on the Olympic team, and he discloses to them the polyamorous relationship that he's in and the liberal tear. And he meets Rachel, Caleb, and Jake in the coach's office where they all come out to the coach and the PR team. So they are making a stand. Everybody, I think, is very accepting, but the coach is upset.
He's pissed, which I get because I'm sorry, Rachel is an adult. She had the foresight to disclose her relationship with Jake,
Mhm.
and now she's gonna fuck also Amari.
Mhm.
And I get why she didn't disclose it, but you are a professional. You're a doctor.
Yeah,
And that seemed a little careless for me for how thoughtful they've been this whole book.
sure.
I did not love that.
Yeah, and I felt like it made a lot of sense to me why she wouldn't want to out the people that she's in this relationship with. So, and I feel like this book is a very long book, and
Yeah.
we like plowed through these notes. This is still going to be a long episode, but the way that this author writes this is these people they're so attracted to each other.
Yeah.
There's nothing keeping them apart, like
Right.
nothing that they could do to like not find themselves in this predicament. So, anyways, Rachel is suspended pending further investigation. The coach can't make the final decision on firing
Yeah.
her. The general manager has to do that, and so she's temporarily suspended. The group has another fun evening, comforting Rachel, who, in a moment of insanity, almost left them.
And that also felt annoying to me.
Yeah, it was annoying to me too.
It felt out
You,
of her character
it did.
because she's not the type that's just going to go back and pack and leave because she's, oh no, my
Mhm.
job.
Yeah.
She was all in and now she's having a let her go. So I did like how Caleb really rectified that situation. He's like, no, I'm not going to beg you. In real
Jake,
life, I would have wanted someone to
yeah,
beg me.
Jake does beg
Yeah.
her. And Caleb is like,
No.
get off of your knees, Angel. We're not begging her.
No.
Ilmari agrees.
Which was surprising. I would have seen him be a beggar.
I think that he took the constructive criticism that Jake gave him about being all in. And I think that Ilmari to me is the smartest person in this entire book.
Yeah.
He's even smarter than Rachel. He is so profound.
Yeah.
And he really, like, he's very, very thoughtful. And he's like, this is the dynamic that we're looking at here. And me begging her or me shutting them out is not going to get me any further
Sure.
in this relationship or in this dynamic. And
Yeah.
so I really love them. The men work Rachel over, Caleb and Jake on top while Ilmari eats her out. And then Caleb lays down while Jake sucks his dick. Rachel sits on his face and sucks Mars's dick. And then Jake fucks Rachel from behind while she's still sitting on Caleb's face. Caleb gets off the bed. Ilmari gets on it. Rachel goes down on Ilmari. Caleb gets both her and Jake butt plugs, turns them on. They're vibrating butt plugs. Jake takes Rachel from behind, comes, then takes Mars in the ass. Caleb fucks her, and then they all come.
I didn't even read that one.
Yeah,
It's from
so
page
fun and messy. I love it. Okay.
664 to 676.
Mhm.
That's where I was just like, I'm over it. We've had 18 sex scenes at this point.
Let me tell you, I have the exact opposite problem when I read these books, where I'm like, this is supposed to be a smutty book. Why are we not having more sex?
But this one, I think I could have a sex scene every 100 pages. For every 100 pages, I could have a sex scene. This was sex scene and then 5 pages and then another sex scene and then 20 pages and then another one.
Mhm.
It was so
Oh
many.
my God, you're exhausted.
Literally.
Yeah.
I needed to take a break and like read something else for the plot and then come back when I was ready to get it.
Rachel has to go to LA to see her family about the PR dilemma. Her dad, again, is a famous rock star, and this is starting to stretch into other areas of her life. The boys arrange a surprise one-on-one while she is in LA between Rachel and the Rays general manager. The team has provided letters of support for Rachel, and he decides that he is going to listen to his players, giving Rachel back her fellowship position and offering her a permanent position when her fellowship is over. And at the next game, news has hit, and the fans are out in droves supporting the Price Compton Noonan Sanford relationship. Pride signs, the whole deal. Our epilogue sees Ilmari's Olympic team winning. The four are married, for lack of a word. They all have rings.
Yeah, they decided because it's Rachel married Elmari and then Jake and Caleb got married.
Yeah, but they all wear the same.
They all were the Price, which also Price is the most boring last name out of all of them. I was annoyed by that part.
Oh my
They
God.
all took Rachel's last name, and you had Noonan or Compton or Stanford. There were better options.
I know, but she's
and her last name is already tied to this famous rock star.
I know, but she's the boss. She's like
the linchpin.
She is like on the pyramid of hierarchy.
I still don't. I would have picked a better last name.
Sure.
What I did in real life.
Would you just? Oh, sure.
You know?
Yeah. So you're not saying that you would like, because in my mind, I'm like, they should all make up a new last name.
No.
No.
There were 3 good last names to pick from.
I feel like it made sense from the relationship dynamic that they all took her last name.
I do as well. I don't know. I just really
they all have these cute little rings with 4 diamonds in them, and they're so cute. And
I didn't read the epilogue.
You didn't?
No, sorry.
It's probably for the best because he probably would have pissed you off. And this trope normally pisses me off too, but Rachel removes her IUD and each of the men, one after the other, have sex with her. And then they have ice cream sundaes. And that's the end of the book. I just want to say that we are so committed to this podcast that we are recording in a hallway next to a room that
there's a play practicing.
Yeah.
Rehearsing.
Yeah, they are rehearsing. It's very, very loud. If you could hear the sounds in the background.
So sorry. It kind of sounded like sex noises for a little while, which I thought was fitting. I did confirm that it's not sex noises.
Ooh, took a peek.
I did have to glance.
Yeah. But yeah, it's very loud. And also Nicole and I have been very distracted. So
it's so sorry. We won't be next week.
We won't be. No.
For another terrible book.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay. All right. Well, we, of course, want to thank our, what are we calling her? Our social media
director?
We're
coming up with it still.
We're going to come up with a name.
Make sure she likes it too.
Yeah, for her. But we'd like to, of course, thank Pagel for her help. We are excited to work with her next week on doing some more work with our social media.
Yeah.
And
getting ready to do some social media stuff.
Yeah. Everybody that's listening, all 33 of the listeners are so excited.
They want to see our facial expression.
Yeah. About the author, Emily Rath is a romance and fantasy author. A university professor by day, she lives in Florida with her husband, son, and cat. They regularly comb the local beaches looking for shark teeth. So pretty straightforward bio there. Also by Emily Rath is the Second Son series, Spicy Wide Shoes Regency Romance, which includes Beautiful Things, His Grace the Duke, and Alcohol, Whiskey and Sin. And then the Jacksonville Rays series, which includes That One Night, Pucking Around, and Pucking Wild, which is the book with Tess.
Which is just Tess and Langley, and I'm going to read that.
I'm
here for it. I liked Tess anyways.
Where can you find the book?
So it is on Kindle Unlimited, which is where I read it, which is where all these text pages are. And then you can get it at Target, Barnes & Noble, things like that.
I would say this is another very accessible book.
Very. Yeah, we haven't read a book yet. And we have no plans to read a book that's not on Kindle Unlimited or very accessible.
Yeah. All right, ratings.
Okay. What would you give it for spice level?
I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Okay. I give it a 5. I think it's very spicy. It's very spicy.
Wait until we read the Ritual by Chantal Tessier, and then you can tell me what you would rate these books.
Spice level, there were like literally 20 sex scenes.
I know, but
there were things that I'd never done or read about. Because we've seen the double penetration, but we haven't seen all of them. This is the first pierced one that we've talked about. I feel like it was very inclusive.
I think you and we talked about this a little bit last time. We rate our spice
level and
are different. I rate it based off of how advanced some of the activities are. And I think that this is very advanced.
Yeah.
That's why I gave it a 4.5. Anytime there's double vaginal penetration, it's advanced. But some of the things that they talked about in this book just are even just like when they were having sex and like one of them is static while the other person is doing the stimulation. those things are, I think, a little bit more advanced.
Yes.
But I've definitely read things that are a little more advanced and a little darker than this. So that's why it didn't get
We
the 5.
do need to come up with we need a darkness rating, I think. Because if we do some of these darker ones, even Haunting Adeline, I think there could have been another category.
Yeah.
But we got time.
Yeah. And I think I just like lob it all in with the spice level. So.
All right. Spice frequency.
I'm going to give it a 5.
Same. 5.
Yeah.
How could you not? So much. All right. Prose.
I would give this book probably a 5 for prose.
I'd give it a 4. I feel like it was very developed.
I don't think that Tess or Dr. Hala or really any of the sub-characters were as well written as the 4 main characters.
For sure.
They
Even
were
like
all
you pointed out in the beginning, Tess is only referred to as Rachel's roommate, and then later she calls her best friend. So even that was very not as well thought out, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely.
The main characters
But the main characters were very, very well thought out.
Yeah.
They were very consistent, with the exception of Rachel having her moment of panic.
Yeah.
They were very, very consistent throughout the whole book. And I really I really, really liked the little details that she added to make you feel really immersed in the story.
Yeah.
So.
All right, storyline.
I'm going to give it a 5.
I'm giving it a 3. I just didn't like the story.
Yeah.
So.
I loved it. I just loved it from beginning to end. I think it isn't just a smutty book. There's a lot of complicated dynamics that are being written about in the book. And
if you don't like polyamory, you will not like this.
Yeah, 100%. I could see that.
So it does have a storyline, which is why it has a 3 for me, but it gets no more.
Yeah. The storyline of the book is the discovery of the polyamory. Yeah.
And the logistics.
Yep. Absolutely.
Overall, then.
I'm going to give it a 5.
For you? No. Okay. 4.5.
I don't give out 5s.
At all. I'm very liberal with my 5s.
You say that every single time. You haven't given out any 5s.
I have on books we haven't gotten to yet. I would give this a 2. I just didn't like it.
Good. Oh, babe, I'm so sorry.
I know.
Oh.
I really did not like it. I do have 5s coming though for anybody who cares.
Okay. I care. I actually did have a lot of anxiety about after you kind of told me that you didn't like it, I started to have a lot of anxiety about our recording because I was like, what's it going to be like?
Well, and this was new for me and it helped me figure out because I did, like I said, I liked The Never King. The polyamory did not bother me at all in that book. I felt that with this book. But it was new for me discovering the logistics of how it works because I don't think I ever understood it before.
Sure.
My understanding was that they're all having sex with each other. And that's very much not what it is. And I didn't understand that. So now I do.
Yeah.
It was at least it's broadening my horizons.
Yeah. I'm glad that you felt like you learned something.
I did learn.
While we're reading these books.
It's not. Oh. I don't even know. This was the second time I've read this book, but I feel like I did. Dave got a text or two the first time I read it, I think.
Yeah.
Not the second time around, though.
Shoot. See, and I was like, so I knew what was coming. So
you were revved the whole time.
I was revved the whole
You were edging.
I was the whole damn time. And I would read this book again 1,000,000 times over. So all right, well, what are we reading next week?
Next week, we are reading Bagging the Blue Liner by Sienna Trapp. Like another pen name. So convenient.
It really does, right? In case anybody is wondering, Nicole also didn't like that book.
I didn't like what you would think that this hockey thing would be right up my alley. And
yeah,
there is one that I did like that maybe we'll talk about, maybe we won't.
Okay. We
still figure out what we're gonna do the rest of the month.
Well, find us on social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Book Sluts Pod. And we are online at bookslutspodcast.com. I am Amanda.
I'm Nicole.
And we're Book Sluts. We'll see you next time. Bye.